Who wrote the book of Psalms in the Bible? Now, if you're not familiar with the Psalms are a book of poetry and what we would call today hymns. They were musically performed in Hebrew times, often accompanied with instruments. And you may be familiar with some of the more prominent Psalms, such as 23, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Jesus quotes from the Psalms frequently in the New Testament, and it is a source of comfort and healing to those who experience trial and turmoil. Now, often the Psalms are attributed exclusively to King David, and he did in fact write many of them, but he didn't write all of them. So today I'd like to explore exactly who wrote the Psalms. All right, let's go. The Psalms are a rich part of Israeli history, and they give us so many insights into the internal workings of the ancient Israelis. King David specifically wrote almost half of the Psalms that exist in the book. We have 150 Psalms to choose from, and if you're in the Eastern churches, you have a few more. Flavius Josephus shares with us that King David wrote the Psalms as part of his repentance process in his older age, that most of his psalms that he wrote were done as he was growing old and had time to dedicate to this sort of worship of God. So who were some of the other authors of the Psalms? Well, Asaph is one of the names that 12 of the Psalms are attributed to. The sons of Korah are also responsible for 11 of the Psalms. Solomon is said to have written 2 of them, Psalm 72 and 127. One of them comes from Moses, or is at least attributed to Moses. That's Psalm 90. Heman, the Ezrahite, wrote 1 Psalm, 88, and Ethan, the Ezrahite, wrote 1 Psalm, 89. But then about 50 of the Psalms are anonymous, meaning we don't know who the author was. These could have been written by some of these same authors, David or the sons of Korah or Asaph, but because the authorship was not indicated, we don't actually know on 50 of the Psalms. I love the fact that many people were inspired to participate in the writing of these songs, these psalms, these hymns, these melodies that would give us words with which to worship the God that we worship today. Tell me in the comments below, which of the Psalms are your favorite and why? And if you like this content, you may be interested in our next video, which is who wrote the book of Hebrews in the Bible. Okay, see you later.